I think got it. We are live now. So hello, people from YouTube. I almost forgetting about this part of the meeting, but I remembered. And today we are going to talk about languages, our stories with the our second language. And let me introduce myself. My name is Elida. For who does not know me, I am 23 years old. I live in a small city in Ceará, but I was born in Fortaleza. Um, I live with my mom, actually, nowadays, and aunt, and with my dog, too. I don't have kids. My dog is my baby. And I study pharmacy at college. I work at a hospital nowadays in the laboratory of the hospital. And that's it. I have been here on Talk and Talk as a talker since the beginning of the pandemic. Talk and Talk helped me a lot to to keep my mental health during the pandemic. And as a hostess, I started in March of this year. So I have been here as a hostess since March. And that's it. It's a pleasure having you here this time. A lot of new faces for me. I'm so glad about this. And that's it, guys. Can you introduce yourself, Matheus, now?
Perfect. Hello, people. Good night. Good evening. My name is Matheus. I'm 29 years old. I live in Rio de Janeiro. Uh, my history with English, there are 3 years. 3 years ago, I start learning English. I started learning English because my job in a company in the past when I job and during my activities, I use English during the day, talk to different people, read technical documents in English, and after that, I'm start in English because this for understood the English in my job, and but in the 3 years ago, I'm not practicing more conversation. And now I'm in the TNT. I'm practicing during the week. English helping me very well in my area. I work as in a data area, in a technology area, and I use in the project the English and helping me very well for understand the tools, the different talks in English, and that's it. And in the past, I've been Ceará, Elda, in 2020, 29, 29, 2027. I 2009. I'm traveling to Ceará in the center.
So nice. Did you came to Fortaleza?
Yes, in the como é que é o nome daquele estádio de futebol daí? É o
Castelão.
Castelão, isso. In the events in the Castelão.
So nice. So nice. Thanks for sharing, Matheus. And about you, Juliana, can you introduce yourself now?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Juliana, coming from Belo Horizonte. I'm a lawyer in data protection and I'm journalist too. Um, my history with English when I was a teenager, I bought a television with to learn English, and I watch movies and just read caption and something like sat and I turned on the language just English for watching movies. And I study in schools and listen music, is some- something something like this with my relation with English.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Ju. And about you, Mateus, Antônio Mateus. I have to say the name.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm Antonio. I am 24 years old and I am chemistry student. Uh, about my history with the English is so difficult to say because I always start and stop the study many times. For the reason it is difficult to say how many times I study English because in the high school, for example, I start to learn, but after I stop and start and stop many times. In the pandemic, I have the experience more seriously with the language to start with my more frequency, but I stop again. But today I have since the last year I start to study English hard. So I have 1 year study the English with very frequent. And recently I decided to practice the conversation TNT. I think that I have 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in the conversations to develop the ability to speak that I feel more difficult. The they speak and the listen for me it's so hard. And that's it. That's my history of English.
Thanks for sharing, Antonio. And you, Wanda?
Hello, everyone. I'm Wanda from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. Today is raining here. I'm a dentist, and I have 2 sons, 2 daughters-in-law, 1 grandson, and 1 cat and a half, because my other cat jumped the wall and lives with my neighbor uh, in the morning and with me in the evening. Now I have 1.5 cat. My history in English is everything started in pandemic time because I needed to close my clinic and stay here in my house so many times for me. Oh my gosh, what can I do? My sons in their houses and everyone in every place. And I start to talk. I think about, oh my gosh, I need to talk in English because my son lives in USA. He is American, and maybe he get married there, and I will have grandsons there too, and I need to talk in English. And I start in this pandemic time, and I don't give up. And today I could talk. Yeah, it's a good experience. I stood only here in talking, only in this in meetings, because I don't have books, and I'm so lazy to grammar, to studying books. Only I jump in the talking, I jump in talking without knowledge, and yes, is that.
I totally understand you because the same situation with me. I am a mix of Antonio and Wanda. I think everyone already answered the question number 2, except me. So I will talk a little bit about my story with English. Actually, I started to study because my mom obligated me to study English, and she put me in a traditional course when I was 15, and I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 5 semesters of a traditional course. It was presential, and of course, it helped me a lot with grammar. But when I finished 2 years and a half, I could not speak anything because this course, the focus was just grammar. So we didn't have uh, conversation classes, practice of listening, of speaking. So I could read some things, I could listen, but when I had to speak, I was not able to finish one phrase in English. And after that, when I finished the 5 semesters, I stopped to study because it was so frustrating to me, listening music and watching movies, and I could not understand anything. So I was very frustrated about this, and I stopped to study. And then when the pandemic starts, I was doing nothing because at the time I was not working, I was just studying, and my college stopped the activities. So I was in my house doing nothing, just looking for the time passing. And I decided to start studying again. I started to look platforms to practice because I am so lazy to grammar too. I don't have patience. I had so many classes of grammar in this course. Then when I started studying again, I decided, no, I want to practice. I don't want, of course, I need grammar classes. I make a lot of mistakes of grammar, but I don't have patience for that. So I discovered TNT. TNT helped me a lot, as I said before, with the mental health to pass of this time of pandemic. And I don't know, I think after 2 months here practicing, I could speak one entire meeting in English. And in my first meeting, I could not speak one phrase. So nowadays, I just practice here on my meetings because I don't have so much time to go to another meetings. I am here because it's my meeting. I have to be here. So I am so grateful for that because I am having contact with the language because talk and talk because I am a hostess. So that's it in resume. And but I am so lazy, guys, to study. And I stop and I come back a lot of times, just like Antonio. It's totally normal for me. The important is not give up, right? So, guys, I think we can go to the question number 3. And I didn't ask, but if anyone speaks another language like Spanish, French, please share with us, right? And let's go to the question number 3. What has been the most challenging aspect of learning a new language for you? Can you start now, Wanda? I think you speak another language, right?
Yeah, I study in a French college. Then I can talk in French, but I commit a lot of mistakes and I don't practice anymore. I try to practice here in talking, but I get a confusion with a mix of English and French, and I give up the French for a moment. I don't know how time is the moment. And another time when I fix more the English language, I return to the French. And when I stay in a Spanish country, I can talk a mix of Portuguese and Spanish. Everyone understand me and no problem. Yeah.
The famous Portuñol.
Yeah, the Portugal work so much. It's good.
Yes. And for you, what's the most challenging aspect for you to?
Oh, everything. English is so hard because it's a logical language, and for me, it's terrible because I'm a logical person, and when I see the letters all the time change the sound and everything for me is illogical in English. It's terrible. But everything for me is challenging. Talking, listen, write, everything. Grammar. It's hard. It's terrible.
Yes, yes. But you speak so much well. Congrats,
Oh, thank you.
congrats. And how about you, Antonio?
So the most challenge, of course, is the listening. For me, it's the listening because when we start to learn a new language, we have the perspective that they speak so fast. Oh Jesus, I don't understand nothing. Just so frustrated this part because when I start the English, for example, I study, but I listen to music, I watch a movie, and I don't understand anything. Why? I because I read okay, I read, I write okay, but the listen, Jesus, for the reasons I love the Spanish. The Spanish is the better because I study Spanish with El Chavo del Ocho. This is my method of study. What the del Chavo. So in Spanish, I don't have the problem. Just in English, and this is the part of the emotional, of course, because we'll feel I cannot understand. I cannot understand the way it's like close to understand, and that's it.
Yes, I totally understand you, especially with songs. I feel very frustrated when I'm listening music and I don't understand nothing of the I don't know, it's fast and sometimes the singers does not follow the rules, you know. So you see the lyrics and I think, oh my God, that's correct. And it's really frustrating. Oh my God, I understand you totally. But that's it. We keep fighting.
Yeah, this is so hard. My daughter-in-law is an American girl. It's hard to understand her. It's easier to understand each other here with a accent, Portuguese accent. But for uh, understand my daughter-in-law, it's impossible. Yeah, it's terrible.
Totally different.
Antonio, yeah, I agree totally with Antonio. It's impossible.
Yes, yes. And about you, Mateus?
Uh, I agree, the Antonio Ivana. For me, a great challenge for practice in English because in the past, I'm not practice much in English during the course in the past. I learn English, but I'm not practice in nowadays. I use sometimes in my job for reach some documents, but practice conversation and listen music. I'm not practice. I'm practicing now. Listen to music, read, watch different movies in English. But in the past, I'm not practicing listening music, watch movies in English. For me, the great challenge is the practice conversation because I'm not practicing many times in English the different people. Now I speak during the week in the meeting in the planet, but in the past I'm not practicing English. I mean, study in English the grammar, but practice conversation during the day. I'm not practicing the past, but now I'm practice more because the job I use in the for read the different tools, the talk the some people. That's it.
All right, thanks for sharing, Mateus. And you, Juliana, can you answer now?
For me, the most challenge is the measuring my knowledge, and I agree with Antonio. The listening, it's a challenge too, and I think it's difficult, it's hard to study grammar, like you said before. It's a challenge for me too, and I'm feeling dismotivated to study these things, but I know it's important.
Yeah. Have you finished? All right. All right. So guys, for me, the nowadays the most challenging aspect is put the English in my routine, find time to practice every day because it has been so difficult to deal with time to work, study, going to the gym, have a social life, and sometimes I forget about English. I just focus on my job and my college. And when I have a few time in the end of the day, I don't have energy to practice. So I have living the opposite of Mateus. In the past, I used to practice more. I used to join 5, 6 meetings during the week here on Talk and Talk about with other hosts, and I used to listen podcasts, reading books. But nowadays, I am just coming to my meeting, and I am realizing that my English is getting worse because of that. I am forgetting words with a lot of frequency, and my brain is making the phrases. I realize that more slowly, so I have this problem to find time to practice every day because I nowadays I'm just practicing one time per week, and that's not the ideal frequency, right? So that's it for me. um Now guys, I will let you choose the question, right? You can choose the question you want. Can you start now, Juliana? You can choose a question and answer, and if you want to create a new question, go ahead. That's no problem to share with us.
And number 8, what's the difference between learning a language out of necessity and learning without of passion? I think this question it's it's a easy answer because when you like something, it's more easy for you face the challenge. When you need to do for obligation, like you said, your experience, it's more difficult.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. When we do everything in life that we like to do, of course, we continue because it gives us pleasure, you know. But in my case, I started with like an obligation, but nowadays I like, and I created a love about languages, and I really would like to learn another languages like French, but I don't have time for English. So I know if I start French, I will not have results because I by the moment that I start, I know that I have to create a routine. And nowadays, I have to organize this part of my life, you know, like management, and then I will start. But I really would like to be a polyglot. I I I think it's so chic, and that's it. Um, Wanda, can you? Oh, go ahead, Juliana.
It's fancy.
Yes, yes, I forgot the word. Wanda, can you choose another question or staying the same?
Number 6. How do you stay motivated to continue learning the language when facing difficulties? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can stay motivated because I'm proud of myself because of English, for example, because I learned by myself, I teach myself, and I get proud of myself. I don't like when I give up something, when I'm not brave. I I see myself and oh my gosh, it's not good. And I push myself for for be motivated and see the progress step by step, and the difficulties appears, but I give up the difficulties. If I don't speak very well, okay, it's not my problem. It's problem of the ear of the other person, not myself. It's that I get motivated because I get proud with my progress.
Yeah, and it's so good when someone comes to you and say, "Oh my God, I saw you talking in English. Congrats." I don't know. I don't know. It's something about ego,
Yeah,
you know, but
totally.
it's great
Like
to.
good ego.
Yes, yes. And sometimes I have the habit to record some pieces of me talking here, and I post on Instagram to not to appear and to, you know, for the people, but to talk about talk and talk, to share with the other people the platform, you know. And at my job, at my family, a lot of people say, "Oh, I saw you on Instagram talking in English so good," and ask me for tips, for help. And I feel very glad to help these people, you know, with my experience. And I love when someone says, "Elda, you are motivating me to start studying English or another language." And It's so good.
Yeah.
And about you, Mateus, do you want to choose another question or?
Number 5. Can you share? No, sorry. Number 4. What are the advantages of being fluent in more than one language? Well, I think this. Do you have opportunities to travel the different countries and the opportunities? For example, I work in the data area, and the data area use me many times uh, during the week uh, in English and Spanish. And what do you when do you start the one language and learn English? And after that, do you learning the other language? I think do you have many opportunities of job for or travel to different countries for conversation with other people in the beach, for example. I live in Rio de Janeiro, and in my city there are any people the different countries that live in Rio de Janeiro. For example, in the past, I work in the company. Uh, there are in the past there are different people in the France, for example, but not speak Portuguese. The people in the past speak the French and the English. And I think it's when you use influence the I'm not speaking fluent, but when you learning the different language, do you have any opportunities? I think the job and learning the different countries, different people, talk to the different people, working the different projects. I think that's it.
Yes, yes, I agree with you, Mateus. I think when you can speak when you are fluent in another language or more than one language, you you are like free. You have freedom. In some way, you are not dependent of another person to do everything, and it's really nice to a lot of great to better opportunities of job. I would like to use my English at my job, but I don't use nothing because I live in a country city, and here we don't have touristas. So I think just one time appeared something, a patient in the hospital from another country, but she was with a cousin, I think, and this cousin was Brazilian, so she had help, but that's it. I really would like to use my English at job to practice more. And about you, Antonio, choose another question and go ahead, please.
Okay. The question 10, how do you track and measure your progress of time? So nowadays I measure my progress with the practice. And I feel that it's more motivation for me to see that I am able to participate here and develop a conversation in English in compare with before, for example. And the teacher is so essential for it because when I enter in the conversation and I participate since the start until the end, and I can to elaborate and answer, participate of the questions, I feel when finish the conversation, oh, I got it. I got it talking about agriculture, about health, psychology, about education, about languages, I feel that, oh, I I can. I speak English. Oh, this is so good because okay, I study for it. I study to practice, to conversation, to interact with other persons. If I can, other point, it's because when I participate, I feel that, oh, I cannot use this time. For example, I cannot speak in past simple. Oh, I will study this part grammar. I cannot use the conditional, for example. Oh, so I will start. So if I cannot use a part of the language, I study after. Or if I don't have the vocabulary, I learn. If I need to use, I study. If I don't, so this is my measure. What I need to study, what I get to study, and my progress. I love Trinity.
Very, very good, very good. I share the same feeling with you because when I started in 2015, I thought that I was not able to be fluent someday. And now when I finish every meeting, I feel very proud of myself because I got it, and the Elda from the past would be very proud from the Elda these days. So really, really good this feeling. And guys, to finish, our time is over, but we have question. We will have time for one more question, and I really want to know if you have an advice for those considering embarking on the journey of learning a new language. We have people watching us now from YouTube. Sometimes these people is creating courage to came the meeting. So let's give us advice to them and to not give up of the process. Can you start, Matheus?
Elda, I don't understand the question. Can you repeat, please?
It's the last question, number 11. If you had an advice for people who is starting the journey, the process of learning a new language.
Yes. I'm start learning the music in English. Listening the music is in English. I think is very important for learning English, helping us in the different case when I listen the music and watch movies in English. I think it help very well the any people the two case. And after that, practice the English during the day. For example, put your cell phone the language in English. I think help very well when the people start the English for me during the day the English. In the when I start in English in the past, I put my cell phone in English, the our cell phone, my cell phone, my Instagram, and I think is help very well the people when the people start the new language, for example.
Yes, thank you, Matheus. And you, Wanda?
I talked to this person that the journey is a little bit boring and because it's hard, but step by step you will get proud of yourself and it's so good to talk with another person. And when you travel, you can understand other people, and it's so good for the brain, like our videos said. I is that the 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 step is terrible, is boring. The process is boring, but don't give up. You will get proud of yourself.
Thank you, Wanda. And you, Juliana?
I said for the people following my colleagues, they talk and talk and participate the community, talking and talk.
Yes, really important, this part. And you, Antonio?
I would say never compare your progress with others persons. You have your time, you have your routine, and you will get to able to communicate in English or other language. And other questions is don't worry, make mistake, but token as possible as you can. You need to token. If you make a mistake, okay, okay, everybody make a mistake. In Portuguese, we make a mistake. Why in English not? That's it. And don't
Yeah,
give up.
yes, I would say just like this. Don't let the perfectionism stops you. You know, embrace your imperfection, because mistakes is part of the journey, and don't be afraid to that, because sometimes we feel ashamed and about make mistakes, about the judgment of other people. But guys, it's your journey, you know. So of course everyone here makes mistakes, and that's why we improve, because we have courage to expose ourselves and to be here, you know. And that's it. Thank you, guys. It was an amazing conversation. I love it so much. I put on the chat the link of the survey, right? Please answer the survey, give me your feedback. Let me know what you thought about me, give me suggestions about topics to bring in the next meetings, and what can I improve my meetings. It's really, really important. I read every comment with very attention, you know, and I love reading the what you talk to me in the survey. So thanks for your presence here. It was a great time. I hope to see you again next Wednesday. I am here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Um, I think I already knew just Wanda. For the other guys, Mateus, Antonio, Juliana, it was a pleasure meeting you. Um, you will always be welcome here in my meeting. And that's it, guys. I hope to have a great holiday tomorrow and a great rest of week, right? And good night. See you. Bye
See
bye.
you. Thank you.